Hey, it's time for this week's Citing and Reading Adventures. Eh. so, it this is sort of like I guess I'm gonna do like a Batman family theme week. Um, this is like this. I'm doing two videos today, and I gotta rush this one along because nothing's more important to me than doing the free comic book day coverage. So, and it happens to be that these synopses are very short. So the first book I'm going to be starting is Ragman, and according to the DC Wikipedia, whatever database they call it, Ragman was a short-lived, ongoing comic book series published from September 1976 to July 1977, written by Robert Knighter, with artwork by Joe Kubert and Redondo Studios. The series introduced a new hero in Gotham City, Roy Regan, aka the Ragman. Now, why do I hook him up with the Batman family? Because he's been seen in a few Batman books here and there as helping the Bat family out. And the first issue, he's mostly popular. He had a short stint on the Arrow show. I forget the actor who played him, but he was on maybe for half a season or so. He left the show, or the character left, went off his own merry way. Maybe he thought the CW thought was going to spin him off in his own series or something, but that probably didn't work out. It's the first story is called "The Origin of the Tatterdemalion." I hope I got that right. I know that I've seen that word before, but I'm never quite sure if I pronounce it right. But anyway, a new superhero, the Ragman, whose uniform is made from tatters of various garments, fights two hoods after they kill a victim, and one of the crooks falls to his death. And beautiful splash page by the Nestor Redondo, I think. I'm going to Nestor and Frank Redondo. Yeah, this is the they were. I think they were prodigies of Joe Kubert at one point. And the artwork is similar to Joe Kubert in a lot of ways. And here's the magnificent fight scene that opens up the first issue. And this is great. You don't see this happening a lot in comic books. You know, Gwen Stacy being damned, but the hero tried to rescue one of the hoods that fell off a rooftop, and he grabbed onto the sleeve of his shirt, and that damn cheap polyester. You know how it is. You know those made in China products. It rips right in there, and the guy falls to his death, and it's depicted in the same way by Joe Kubert on the cover, and Joe Kubert's more effective, but yeah, it fits in the story. So the Ragman is in reality a junk shop dealer and Vietnam vet. His name is Roy Regan, and he remembers how he gained the powers of four men. He thinks back to the past when his alcoholic father and three friends found some money in a mattress. What are the odds? I mean, geez. These guys had better luck than buying a lottery ticket. Or a raffle ticket. I won a raffle one time. Back in 2015. Where I worked for a school doing a project. And it's a school where Gary Cole took his kids. School that caters to the physically, mentally handicapped kids, and my half sister's adopted dad designed the place, called the Help Center in the Sherman Oaks, and and these kids they passed a raffle, and I won the raffle, and I got a bunch of Spider-Man related stuff. It was fascinating, but it was it was a good deal. Anyway, back to this. So where's that mattress? So anyway, does it really matter? Um, yeah. Okay. Here's the scene. They find a mattress here in an alley. Um, while threatening the four men, a group of gangsters shot down the power lines which hung above the men. Rory grasped his father's hand to try to help the four to safety, but they were electrocuted. And somehow the four men passed their strength and skills to Rory. Uh, I know I got something witty to say about this. Okay, so I got to credit Knighter for coming up with the most original execution death ever depicted in comics. I mean, who would have thought about these gangsters? Like, hey, power lines above you. Let's shoot those things down, and just on the on chance that they will those wires will instantly be drawn to these four guys, and they are electrocuted, and end up being electrocuted. So it's a novelty comic. I had to read it. See, it's more like it's more Joe Kubert than, I know they had something to do with Joe Kubert, so I'm just putting it out there. Next comic book, last Tuesday's read. Here, a golden favorite of mine. Probably made my summer of 1975, and it's written by my good friend Elliot S. Magan. I never knew after all these years that he wrote this one. One thing, Elliot is one of the nicest guys. He's very youthful. I know he's like close to 70 years old, but he exuberates a kind of playfulness and youthfulness to him, and I'm happy to know him. I'm just recalling this funny story with Elliot and me and my former editor Sparky Santos. We were having a meetup. Me and Sparky were part of this monthly meetup with all comic book professionals, and it just fell to shit when the pandemic hit, and no one ever met again but me, Sparky and Elliot had our last one at Arts Deli in Studio City, and I remember I ordered a pastrami sandwich, the Reuben sandwich. I can't. How I forget that? It was like one of my half uncles who invented that sandwich when they migrated from Russia, Germany. But anyway, the sandwich was created in Omaha, Nebraska, by the way. The sandwich, I get it. It's a big, huge sandwich, and Ellie goes, "Well, I'll help you finish that off. Just give me half of that." What? Yeah, I'll eat half of that sandwich. But Ellie, you just like wolf down on one of yourself. I got room for it, man. If you can't eat it, I will help you. And sure enough, he ate a sandwich and a half. Not that he's a fat guy or anything, but geez, I mean he's pretty athletic too. So anyway, this is the story of he wrote this Joker issue number 4, and guest starring the Green Arrow. I remember reading this over the tail end of the summer of '75. I remember reading it at my apartment complex pool. In fact, that's where I first read that story, and the guest stars the Green Arrow, and you see that's Dinah Lance there. So What about this solo series of the Joker? They're all usually all like done in one story. The Joker always meets defeat at the end of each story. Uh, I mean, I have the third issue too, which had featured my favorite all time DC character, the Creeper, and that ended in the Joker being. Yeah, I mean, there was eight or nine issues. I think there was a 10th issue, but it never saw the light of day being printed. It got printed in one of those comics cavalcade issues. But the story synopsis goes along a little like this: Diana meets a strange bus driver, calling himself Harry Hack, who apparently has a crush on her. Unfortunately, she later learns that the man is a criminal who stole a bus from Gotham City, has been created havoc in Star City. The criminal is none other than the Joker, and he apparently has become infatuated with Diana. Dinah, not Diana. And there's Oliver receiving the bad news there. So the Clown Prince of Crime creates fake news about a disturbance in the city, and Oliver Queen changes in the Green Arrow, leaving Dinah behind in her flower store. The Joker strikes, kidnapping Dinah, and using his trademark Joker Venom on the only customer in the store who witnessed the event. By the time Green Arrow returns, he finds the Joker's victim and realizes that Dinah has vanished. And there's Dinah getting caught in a net there. There's Shazam peddling fruit pies. Okay. The Joker takes Diana away on his Joker-mobile, and he gives her a choice to marry him or be killed. Unfortunately, the Joker is distracted as his main plan has been set into motion, and soon the criminal and his henchmen take Diana to the Archway Bridge, where they replace a gold star with their own tampered version in order to create a traffic disturbance in the bridge, which will allow the Joker to steal valuable objects from a nearby museum without police interruptions. See Joker's use. Oh, there, Saturday morning, 1975. There you go. It was noticing the schedule. They were trying to push live action television for kids, and you can see Bob Denver and Alan Hale were trying out a series called Far Off Space Nuts. Larry Storch and Forrest Tucker, previously from F Troop, were trying the original Ghostbusters. And my half sister is good friends with Larry Storch's son. We recently celebrated my niece's birthday last summer over at Forrest Tucker's house over in Toluca Lake. Well, Fat Albert doesn't really count. It's more live, more animation than Cuckoo for Ann and Ollie, Harlem Globetrotters. It was a fun time. It was at the time where you couldn't have superhero cartoons other than Super Friends, and Super Friends they never land a hand on their villains. They capture them with their wits, surely on their wits. Okay. Green Arrow arrives on the bridge in time to save Dinah and stop the Joker's evil scheme. However, during the confrontation, the Joker falls into the river below. And there's the gratuitous fight scene. And the obligatory fight scene, rather. My sister had that one. Sister back in New Jersey had that book. And Diana Lance is pulling a Gwen Stacy, and Joker falls, and Joker falls in the river below. Green Arrow doesn't try to save the madman, and the police control the situation, although the Joker is nowhere to be found, and not so well. That ends well for that one. The next issue, I skipped 2 issues ahead to the Joker number 6. Interesting story. Well, this piqued the interest of my former editor, Sparky Santos. He had a little discussion with me about this issue. Wasn't sure if this issue came out before when DC did an actual Sherlock Holmes comic book series. But I told him this has nothing to do with that series. This, as I'll explain the synopsis, it goes a little, and also, this story is written by Denny O'Neil, with art by Irv Novick and Tex Blaisdell. I know Irv Novick, but I'm not certain about the text dude. Okay, and of course edited by the Julius Swartz. He was quite a womanizer back in the day. Clive Sigerson. Let me try that again. Clive Sigerson, an actor playing Sherlock Holmes in a theater play, believes he is really the great detective when the Joker hits him over the head with a pipe. Kabam. Well, not exactly. It's more like a phony boxing glove. Oh no, it's actually a pipe. Oh, he's smoking pipe. Oh, gee whiz. Thought like a pipe, like a iron pipe. Okay, accordingly, he sees the Joker as Professor Moriarty and goes on the hunt for him. The Joker, on the other hand, has set out to recreate some of the most famous crimes solved by the fictional detective, and he is delighted to be confronted by the actor. On a couple occasions, the Joker manages to pull the crimes, outsmarting the fake Sherlock Holmes, but the clown prince of crime eventually meets his match when Sherlock finds a vital clue thanks to his assistant Watson and captures the Joker for good. Now, the Watson character just happens to be like a mechanic or some sort. And what is it? I gotta go back up. I forgot who plays the Watson character. He is a stagehand. He's a stagehand. Okay, who witnessed the assault on the actor by the Joker and his minions, and so therefore his last name has to be Watson, and therefore the actor's mind snaps and he really believes that he is Sherlock Holmes, and he just goes out all in style of the 19th century, the English detective, and confronts a bunch of goons. What is Shazam Hawk peddling this time? He's peddling cupcakes, Hostess fruit cakes. I mean, Hostess cupcakes. I should really rehearse these before I do them, but there's no time. Joker places his golf handicap. I guess the Joker and my stepdad would get along because my stepdad was an avid golfer. Won a tournament, local tournament, one year. But he only told me that he hit one in his entire life. He only hit one hole in one. All right, okay. So here's a fond memory of 1975, and that was the Superman versus the Amazing Spider-Man Treasury. Oh my goodness. I had it, and fortunately, one of those books that's a Neil Adams PSA for juvenile delinquency. I think I mentioned that before in another video. One of the calendar there. I know I'm more fascinated with the ads than the story itself, but it was an interesting read. It was Denny O'Neil. You can't pass up a Denny O'Neil story, even it's it's a not up to par story. And there's like clues laid out throughout the. So I'm not a big Sherlock Holmes fan. I wasn't. Maybe I read The Hound of Baskervilles as a school project, but as far as the stories, the short stories and things, I was not Wasn't really into it. I know, it's surprising, right? I knew I like watching some of the movies and listening to radio shows. Um, I was not actually a big fan of the prose itself. So Baskervilles, as you can see, is the name of a boat, and Sherlock Holmes wraps it up by using yeah he says oh yeah, okay, here uh, Professor Moriarty perished by water when he fell into the falls here, and this actor, this fake Sherlock Holmes actor, nails the Joker with a water pick gun or something, or a high pressure, yeah, gun, and that's how the Joker gets his ass handed to him. The last one I have is this is the Batman Family, issue number 6 from 1976. This was my last Thursday's read. It was quite. It came close for me an hour to finish this book because you put like an old Batman story, a heavy dialogue Batman story in front of me, and I'm gonna start nodding off. And even though this story was like 4 pages long, I still like, yeah. They really knew how to overwrite their dialogue and captions back in those days. The first story is another Elliot Maggin story, and it involves Batgirl. And I wanted to say that concerning this Batgirl story, let me see what we got. Back in the mid 70s, and I don't know if this was Elliot who made this happen, but Barbara Gordon, aka Batwoman, was a congresswoman, and one of the remarkable things that her office, she can go to the state capitol, and from her office and through an underground tunnel. I believe that is the system that Washington uses to connect. You could use underground system. Pedestrian walkways on the ground. It's the same way. It's the same thing over at UCLA. When I worked over at UCLA, you can go to the hospital, to the eye center, through a series of underground tunnels. You don't have to walk above the street, and so it's pretty fascinating. But and I guess the safety of using the underground system. If Barbara Gore was a congresswoman today, she'd be lucky enough to avoid those digital wandering fondling mitts of Donald Trump, aka fuckface felon 47, because who want to? Because I know that Barbara Gordon would be a target for those small tiny fingers of his. So Congresswoman Barbara Gordon makes a trip to an Indian rodeo with her other legislators, and discovers a skullduggery and political corruption there as Batgirl. Using her masked identity, Barb was able to find a corrupt Native American who plans to sell the lands for his own benefits, and she thwarts his ultimate plan. And that wouldn't be named by Billy Jack, would it? I don't know, but this is a tale I probably like to pass on to my friend, Native American friend Zach Alvarez, who accompanied me to on some of the entertainment industry picket lines. And okay, in the second story, I'm sure Zach will get some enjoyment out of it. Okay, so the second story is The Joker's Daughter. And it's a short synopsis. The Robin tangles with a female Joker who claims to be the Joker's daughter and who has allegedly stolen a dead mystery writer's manuscript, which was possibly never there in the first place. Despite the non-existent crime, Robin tries to stop the Joker's daughter, but is outsmarted and unable to capture the criminal maid. Okie doke. I gotta check something here. Where is my... I'm not certain if this is the first appearance of the Joker's daughter. Now I gotta look. Hold on a second while I look this up. I gotta look this up on Hip Comic. The usual will tell me. Let me get my trusty keyboard out. Okay, I have one of these. Is this the debut? Oh my goodness, it is. It's the Joker. This is the Joker's daughter's first. This is the Joker's daughter's first appearance. I never knew this was it. But I had this book, and it listed close to $50, $47.40. How about that? Okay, so let's take a look through that story. Let's go through a glance here. And this is only a really short. I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6-page story. That's all it was. Wow. And I see that artists were Ernie Chan did this. Wow, let me see this. There's no credits listed in this story. I don't know who wrote it. Let me see the I'm sorry, I'm so caught off guard by this. Oh, okay, hold on a second. Okay, so Bob Rosaskis wrote this story. So Bob Rosaskis created the Joker's daughter. I have him on Facebook. Hence was Irv Novak, and inker was Frank McLaughlin and Jules Schwartz. Ernie Chan did the cover of this. Okay, all right. Okay. Now there's a couple reprint stories. There's also some little mini features in here. Robin's cast of characters. This made me nod off on this book. There's some bunch of characters in here that I'm not even familiar with, and it was a chore reading them. The Adventures of Alfred. Alfred had his own little solo adventures, and he was called Alfred Beagle back then, and not Alfred Pennyworth. Okay, so I don't know why. I don't know when that name disappeared into the ether, but nonetheless, he is Alfred, one and the same. Alfred is tired of being laughed at for his various accidental victories over crime, and this time he decides to do a proper investigation. Alfred comes across an unusual robbery. Someone has stolen an entire supply of turtle soup from a gourmet factory. Alfred is ready to laugh it off until it's explained that the soup costs $5 a can, and he stole over 1,000 cans. Alfred finds out there is only one other company that makes the turtle soup. He goes there and witnesses employees putting their own labels on the stolen cans. He returns with the police. The other company explains that they were facing bankruptcy because the larger company had cornered the market on live ingredients. However, Bruce and Dick are still skeptical about Alfred's recent achievement. So back in the 40s, they had fake turtle meat in cans back then. I mean, geez, that puts those yuppies out to shame there. Who are those whole food fanatics? Whole food's not really synonymous with health food anymore. Unfortunate to say. That's what happens when you expand across the country. So there's another reprint story from Batman 161. I believe this story is from 1964, I believe. Alfred's story was from 1945. So this is the new crimes of the Mad Hatter. Batman and Robin learn that the Mad Hatter has escaped from prison, is no longer robbing rare and expensive hats, but using hats to rob. They soon also learned that he's striking at the 12 jurors whose verdict sent him to jail. And the crimes are based on hats that the jurors would wear on their regular jobs. Fireman helmet, chef's hat, and a bowler hat to rob a bowling alley. Bowler hat to rob a bowling alley. More than twice, the Mad Hatter managed to escape from the dynamic duel, but during an escape attempt with the balloon, Robin stymies his escape by popping the balloon with a hat pin borrowed from a nearby woman bystander, bringing the crook back to the street level where he is finally captured. Okay, well, this version of the Mad Hatter is certainly a far cry from the Jervis Tetch version I know from the Batman the Animated Series, which was brilliantly portrayed by the long deceased Roddy McDowell. I believe this would be the version that was used on the '66 live action version. I mean, I think Mad Hatter was on there for one time, but here's the escape and the hat pin, Robin, and voila, you burst my balloon. And he falls harmlessly into Batman's arms and is carted off to Gotham City jail. So that's it for this week. Let's see. I got to do another video. I got to get busy reading these free comic book editions and report on those. Well, I write down a series of notes, and it won't be as marble-mouthed as this one was. This was all improv, folks. Okay, next time, do a Ripley's Believe It or Not themed, Gold Key themed episode. Okay, bye.